Do 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 do. I need to change one more thing and I can get this show on the road. How have you guys been doing? How have you guys been doing? I go out my way not to look like a contrarian, edge lord, all of this stuff. I'm like, hey man, just put your truth out there and maybe maybe you're seeing something. But while I'm trying to add my tags to the video and stuff, I want to say I haven't seen anyone talk about this show except for the tea that came out on after the show with Storytime with Ricky. So I don't know what anybody's opinion is and what they're saying. So one more tag. Tyler? Okay. All right, let me make sure I don't even know if my mic is on right. Oh, my mic wasn't on. So I was like, oh, let me check because I don't even know if my mic on right. The mic is on right now. Let me make sure that this is on YouTube. But I was gonna say, okay, we good on that part. I just like to have. I got it on my Streamlabs. I like to be able to see the video on YouTube too. I try not to be a contrarian. I try not to be an edge lord or go against the grain at all times. Maybe I'm just a different dude. You know what I think? I think it's boring when we talk about the obvious a lot of times. So like, let's just say if somebody punches somebody else in the face, is okay, that's bad. That's bad. What is there to discuss? Like if it's just clean, there's no conversation, somebody's standing there and somebody just punch him in the face for no reason. That's just a super easy conversation to have because I think we all would agree that that was wrong. And maybe it just doesn't interest me when people talk about things that are just right in your face. So I wasn't gonna watch Temptation Island, and I'm like, Storytime with Ricky is doing some background stuff on this, like some DMs and stuff, and I'm like, I never seen that for Temptation Island. I just see it on Love Is Blind, so I'm like, okay, watch it one day. I watched Temptation Island last night, and I started at 7 p.m. I stayed up to 4:30 a.m. in the morning. I ran through the whole show all night, so it is fresh on my mind. And after I watched the show, I didn't start watching the tea of what happened. And then I saw that Nick Viall was going to do his own reunion. He might want to change the name of the title and name of the title. I don't want them to come sue him because Nick was smart enough to do what they should have done anyway, especially with a show that was this popular. Yes, I am going to make a video on Shantae and Breon. This ain't going to be the video. So before I start playing this right here, because I already saw their first beginning of their conversation, that's what made me want to go live with Tayler and Tyler. I want to say that during the first couple bonfires, when Tayler said, when she starts saying things such as she's doing this, she's paying for everything, she's talking to other guys, I'm like, she's kind of emasculating, buddy. And then I'm watching the show and I'm like, my premise for Temptation Island is these snippets of these bonfires is going to cause the reaction, and this is how the show will snowball because I'd never seen Temptation Island before, and I was correct on my prediction. I knew that was set in motion for him to feel validated to say, F it, I can do whatever I want to do. But it wasn't a lot of evidence. It was just like, when I got to the final bonfire when they met each other and he went through their timeline of how she just emasculated him and put him down, when he was going through his monologue, I was like, I knew that was it. I could tell just how she was talking to him. And then I watched this. And this was the confirmation that I saw coming. And Here's the thing, I'm gonna be straight up. We're not talking about right or wrong. We talking about reality and the world of how it exists. There's a lot of things on social media that shows us things that are devastating to women, untriggering to women, and they're blunt and plain in our face. It's enough information for men to see this, and I can go, if you do that, bruh, she probably gonna leave you. I know it don't mean a lot to us, but she probably gonna leave. I'm having a hard time, like, really understanding the reverse of that. Like, how many TikTok videos, Instagram videos, posts that men are making on social media that tells women, if you emasculate a man, like this is one of the most devastating things that you can do to a man, and it's gonna destroy him inside, or he's gonna try to seek this validation in somebody else. It's like it's this empathy thing that's missing between men and women. Like, men, you got the signs to know what's really triggering to a woman. Women, you got the signs to know that's really triggering to a man. But since they don't bother us that much, we downplay it as if what bothers me, what bothers you, is not as more devastating as what bothers me. But when communication, when you really, really love somebody, it doesn't turn the person to your enemy because you love them so much. You want to put yourself in their shoes. If I can't identify with something that's really hurting my partner, when they're telling me how much this is hurting them, when I'm listening to them, I put myself in their shoes, but the reasoning in my brain is not what hurt her, but something that would make me feel devastated. And when I have that feeling in my chest of how devastated I would feel if that would have happened to me, then I just correlate and switch to what she actually told me. Because I've created this hurting feeling inside of me, and I know I'm looking at my partner, and for a different reason, I have delivered the same results of this devastating hurting feeling. It is a devastating hurting feeling to emasculate a man. And again, he said it on the final episode. You saw his face completely change during the first two bonfires. And I want y'all to listen to the evidence that how she delivers this right now. Let me go and widen this window and go to my browser source.
In which you started and ultimately what made you guys want to come on to Temptation Island and test the relationship the way you did?
Great question. You want to start?
Go ahead.
Okay. Well, I mean, we met at a very strange time in my life.
Okay.
Yeah, literally going through divorce and separation after about 5 or 6 years of that relationship. And at first, we were just close friends. We had mutual friends, and then after 4 months of hanging out, we kind of got physically intimate. And then
were you separated at the time that you met?
Yeah, I was still technically married at the time, and that was one of her
Stipulations.
Yeah, stipulations was obviously like, the divorce has to be finalized, and there's a lot more issues than that even I was going through, a lot of baggage from that, and we kind of worked through that.
You mentioned at the final bonfire that even in that relationship, you felt maybe underappreciated, unseen. Can you share a little insight into what the biggest struggle with that relationship was and why that ultimately led to a separation?
Yeah, I mean, it was a beautiful marriage. Like, I wouldn't take it back for anything. Like, the first 5 years was just amazing. Like,
I do want to skip this part because I just want to focus on these two. And I'll make this short for you. He's going to say he had a beautiful 5-year marriage with his wife. And right at the end, his wife wanted to have an affair. She wanted to sleep with another woman. He allowed this to happen. And now I can understand the show a little bit because I'm just like, he said he kind of went through this with his marriage, the emasculating. He probably felt emasculating, like, I allowed my woman to sleep with somebody else, and she ended up leaving me for this woman, and now I'm devastated. So I just want to skip this part and get to when ultimately when she starts talking, when they talk about their relationship.
And I was like, why are you asking me if you can see? And so I packed up all my stuff.
But what about the kissing at the bar?
Yeah, and that's when we actually decided to take a break. And she was going on a work trip to Belize, and then on that break,
Let me go back, because she does something sneaky here. She says that he cheated on her and kissed the girl, right? And I want y'all to notice, and this is all subjective, of course. Anybody can draw their own different conclusion. We're not in their brain, we don't know. So my subjective opinion, this woman is so strong that she is going to stand her ground and go off if you lie on her. So she says that he cheated and kissed somebody, but he says they were on a break, but she's going to be calm about it. Like, to me, her personality, if she would instantly correct him and go off on him if he just made up something, but she lets it fly. And if I were to believe that it was while they were on a break and she let it fly, it shows me she's okay with lying. It can make me distrust what she says, because something else is going to come up.
A few times already in that relationship.
oh,
Yeah, probably just like twice officially. One when he kissed a girl at a bar and I got a video of it when I was on vacation.
Okay.
The other one when he
I'll
took
do
my
it.
friend home from a bar and spent the night with her. So,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay.
it's
What?
not entirely true, but yeah.
Please rebuttal.
Well,
All I want to say, so far, I appreciate everyone giving each other a chance to speak.
I mean, we only officially dated for a few months, like the first time, and then we emotionally exclusive for pretty much that whole 2.5 years. But
Yeah.
after the divorce was final, she was like, okay, like, we got to get this moving. And so officially asked her out. And then we just had a lot of issues those first few months.
But what about the kissing at the bar?
Yeah, and that's when
I love how Nick did that. And I got a lot of bad things I've said about Nick, but that is something I would do. All right, bro, we get all of that. She directly said you cheated and kissed the girl. I need you to answer that specifically. Shout out. I give people their props when they do something good. Shout out to Nick for redirecting this back to making it on point.
we actually decided to take a break. And
Forgot my mic was turned off. I hate when I do that, because I have to pause it when the video's playing, because I don't want it to play double. Maybe I'll risk that it could sound double when they're talking, just so I won't miss nothing. But what I was saying is, I like that Nick redirected him back. I've said some bad things about Nick because he has said some bad things I disagree with, but I give props when people say something that's really good. And I like that he brought it back. I like that, stay on point. She said that you kissed somebody. Did you kiss somebody? And you said, and watch what he says, because this is important.
and she was going on a work trip to Belize. And then on that break, that's when she got the video of.
Gotcha.
Yeah. And that was the whole infidelity thing on the show, and the cheating thing was me kissing someone at a bar when we were on a break.
What about the taking the friend?
We weren't even dating at that time.
Yeah, I mean, but we were still emotionally exclusive, like we were dating.
See, this is what I don't like. I can't stand this, right? There is power in a reunion show, and this is the last chance to be face to face with someone because you've been separated for a while. So people twist words. When she spoke, she said that we dated. He said that's not entirely true. We were on a break. He's being literal. We were on a break. She comes back and says, okay, well, we were on a break, but we kind of emotionally was there. No, you was on a break. But when it was your turn to speak, you wanted to present this man like he cheated. I can't stand that, because a lot of people aren't articulate or know how to defend themselves. So the person who doesn't know how to defend themselves, you see them thinking a lot on these reunion shows and stuff, and they're like, they know something not right, but the more powerful person. I got my earbuds in under this. I'm getting a phone call. All right, let me take this off. This is gonna annoy me. Let me take these off. it doesn't become who's wrong or right. It becomes who is better at delivering. And a lot of time these women be very upset. Like you get like someone who's strong and came there with an agenda versus somebody who laid back. But the reality is, she said they were dating. He said they broke up. Comes to the conclusion they were broken up. So why did you say y'all was dating? You could have just said this when it was your turn to speak, but when you come with an agenda, it makes me not want to trust what you say going forward.
Dating. I mean, it was a whole 2.5-year situationship, if you will.
She said he cheated. Now it turns to, okay, yeah, we were on a break, but some emotional stuff was there, but it was a 2.5-year situationship.
Were official for those couple of months, but I wasn't sleeping or seeing anybody else, vice versa.
But you slept with your ex-boyfriend right after.
No, I didn't.
I don't believe her. I'm going to show you why. And again, this is all subjective. If someone says that they believe her, cool. Because I don't believe her, I would like to explain why I don't believe her. I see a very feisty, strong person that will stand their ground if they're lied on and defend their position. On this whole topic right here, she gets a little more passive. If someone's saying that you cheated on them and they're making this up in their head out of the blue, you're going to defend yourself. But on this particular time, when he comes with these details and direct conversations coming from her mouth to his mouth, he is the one in this situation that has the confidence. Where's all her confidence now? Watch.
Yes, you did. You remember you said you had regrets about it and you wish you didn't do that?
No.
And it was literally right after the Belize trip.
Don't recall.
Well, you did.
Okay.
Yeah. So, and we like,
Whatever
that was
you
like a
wanna
whole
say.
topic of conversation. And I talked about that of like, yeah, my infidelity was kissing someone on a break. And then a couple days later, back from your trip, you went to go sleep with your friend. I believe it was after you took your friend to the concert at Bridgestone, the Adam Sandler concert.
I went with a girl.
I know, but it was after that. You said after that you called him. We had a whole entire
I
conversation about
really
this.
don't know what you're talking about at all.
That smile and her laid back position is not the position of someone like her who, if someone is just making up a bold-faced lie. And I'll take up for her in a way that she can't not even take up for herself. If he kissed the girl on a break and then a couple days later you sleep with your ex-boyfriend, he didn't cheat and you didn't cheat because y'all still are on a break. You can do whatever the F you want to do. That's the way you go if you want to tell the truth. You just admitted that y'all was on a break. You admitted to it. So you didn't even cheat on him. But I'm not going to sit up here and believe that this guy's sitting on the couch and just making up a whole complete story. It'd have been better if she said like, yeah, no, I went to his house and we kind of talked anything. I think he kind of blown this out of proportion. She like, nah, he's just making this up. I don't believe it.
All because I dated a girl before I dated him. So I don't know which ex-boyfriend he was talking about. So
How did you hear about this alleged story?
From her.
Okay.
I heard it from her mouth. We had a whole entire conversation about it. Like,
you guys know me
multiple
and how
times.
honest I am from the show. I'm 10 toes down always. I'd absolutely own up to some shit like that.
That's why I don't believe you. I don't believe you because you would defend the crap out of yourself and you are so laid back with somebody lying and saying that you had sex with someone that you didn't. That's not making sense to me.
Because it doesn't matter to me, but you can write whatever narrative you want
What
to.
does that night look like in your memory?
What night?
This
The
Bridgestone Adam Sandler.
Oh yeah, I took so it was his Christmas present. I bought tickets to see Adam Sandler at Bridgestone. We weren't together at this time because he had taken my friend home from a bar, so I asked my friend Lexi to go with me. And that's all we did. We went there and then we went on Broadway and then I went home. She can vouch for me too, my friend Lexi, I'm sure. So.
And you're saying it's
I do want to say that this is some real stuff. You know, I don't try to be popular. I just try to say the real. When a couple go on a break, so they're not together, but they're on this break, the majority of the time, because it's a break, the woman will not sleep with anybody because they're hoping like we taking a little break, time to clear our minds, right? And they're probably doing the right thing. It's probably the way to go if it's a break, because you break up, you break up. If it's a break, you're like taking time away from each other, but the expectation that we're going to try to get back together in the future. So women don't really sleep with nobody. That ain't how I work with guys. A dude will be on a break and will smash a rando. I'm not telling you what's the right and wrong way. I'm just telling you the real. A guy more likely to smash a rando because y'all on a break. If you operate in how the world exists instead of how the world should be, you will have more realistic expectations and be less hurt. That's all I'm saying.
Oh, that's
Other.
that's a flat out lie. Yeah, you know what I mean.
Okay.
So,
Well, I don't, but I mean, we're just gonna have to let the people decide. But I appreciate you guys both sharing your version.
I'm pretty sure I'll have receipts on that one. So nothing I'm worried about.
So who?
There's no way a woman as strong as she is, right, and she's feisty, she's going to tell you she's feisty, she comes back with fire. There's no way she would let him say, I probably got receipts, I can come back on that, so I'm not worried about it. And in a conversation, she would not let him have the last word and end that conversation if he was lying. She smashed her friend. In my opinion, she don't want to admit it. So it just makes me be weary about trusting what she says going forward.
Initially's idea was it to go on the show?
They reached out technically to both of us. We were in the Netflix database because of another show.
Okay.
We were interviewing for when Netflix was cracking down on the password sharing, and they pulled some shows. That show we were interviewing for got pulled, but they let us know we're keeping you in the database, and that was a year ago. Well, a year from we got the call. They were like, are you guys still together? And we're like, yeah, sorta. And yeah, he was a big proponent. I feel like he was driving the boat because he had the things he wanted to prove. And I was just kind of along for the ride.
This is going to be excellent how Nick calls her out, because I was thinking the same thing. Get her, Nick. Get her.
If I may, you don't strike me as someone who's along for the ride. You seem more like a leader.
Agreed.
So I would, in terms of what role did you play in terms of saying yes to this? Because it is hard as a viewer to believe that you were just more of the demure, I guess we'll go because Tayler wanted to go.
Well, they reached out to me. All of this communication, for the first show, was all me.
Okay.
When they came back around, I just told him, hey, what do you think about this Temptation Island? Let's start watching it, see what you think. So I guess you could say I was the catalyst, but once it came down to, are we really going to do this after multiple interviews? I would say he was the one to be like, yes, let's do it.
What was your relationship like a month before you left for the show?
Oh, we were going to break up when we got the call. That was the whole thing. So they called us and they're like, we haven't talked in about a year. How's it going? And we're like, well, because we just got back from a trip to Mexico and it was a rough trip.
That I paid for completely.
Okay.
Unnecessary.
This be the problem, right? That was completely unnecessary. But the person who spoke up is the scumbag. He got the scumbag reputation. That's why people get away with this stuff. It's people care more ooh, I don't like you. And when I don't like you, anything come out of your mouth gonna be bad. Instead of just being objective. Instead of just sitting back and just seeing what's true and was false. What's the purpose in saying that? Right? What's the purpose of saying that? Emasculating.
What about Costa Rica a couple months before that?
A couple months, that was 2 years before that, and I've paid for every single vacation after that. So
That just...
How could it be 2 years before that if y'all only dated for 2 years? Y'all only dated for 2 years in a situationship, as she said. It's apparent to me one person is content with their life. I know that Tayler, he has a beautiful girlfriend now. He seems happy. Seems like he got back on his feet. So he can come here and we'll just say what happened. And one person has venom. And they're going to use everything they can to take shots at him, not realizing that you're proving the things that he was saying about you on the show correct.
Okay, so I guess we can
This was a part of
address
the
this thing.
storyline.
So let me ask you this question: were you financially supporting me?
You weren't 100% living with me, but you were living off of me. So absolutely.
What do you mean by that?
Yeah, how was I living?
So
off
he
of you?
split time between my house and his pregnant sister, their 1-year-old, and husband's house. He did not have a home of his own. So he spent 50-50 basically. Did not pay anything in bills, groceries, would come over to my house, eat everything, make a mess, then leave, go back to his sister's, and then she would take care of him. So
I don't think I'm gonna be able to keep up count with how many emasculating things that she's coming here with an agenda, and I can only imagine what he went through in his relationship because to see the shock on his face at the first bonfire when she was saying that stuff to those guys. This is what I'm saying. I had a suspicion he was in a bad relationship where she was just putting the man down. So let's be detailed about the topic here. Were you living off me? The conversation is me and you, right? Listen to how much she put him down in another household that had nothing to do with her or nothing to do with the question. Your pregnant sister with a husband and a family. The only reason you would go through this amount of detail is to emasculate him and say, you're a broke bitch. You didn't have nothing going for you. It wasn't about what he had anything going for him. It was about, did he live off of you? Did he live off of you? There is the only sole reason to go into that depth, knowing that hundreds of thousands of people are going to see this. Probably a million, since this is the only way you'll see some form of reunion. The only reason to do that is to emasculate this guy, which he told us about on the show. I'm telling you, I'm going to lose count.
That.
Did you have a house,
Wow.
Tyler? Did you have somewhere else to go except my house or your pregnant sister's house?
Or your pregnant sister's house. If that man was homeless on the street or with his pregnant sister, that is a total separate conversation than him living off of you. It is just to destroy this guy. And he can do something that I can't do. And I try to learn from everybody. He can sit there poised, chill. He gonna go back because now he do got a good job, and now he got a beautiful girl who is showing him respect and value. And it's not the girl from the end of the show. It's another girl that he's met. He just introduced on Instagram. But he can sit back poised, and sometimes you gotta do that. You sit back and poised, but it's like, I'm not bitter. I'm not angry. Like because of these events that took place, I'm good. I'm happy. You can win this. You can have strangers leaving all these positive comments about you, girl power, this shit in the comment section. But that's not real life. What did you do to work on yourself? Because you're destroying me, emasculating me, putting down my financial flaws that I had during that period of time. Even though I had a shit ton of money when I met you. You can put me down during that time. But okay, I worked through it. What have you worked through now? What have you done besides change the color of your hair?
I spent very little time at your house, and we talked about that. We had several conversations about that. Leading up to the show, you didn't even want me to stay at your house. You didn't even want me around. Like, we were about to break up, and literally the relationship was in shambles, and we wanted to figure out if it was going to work. But you never financially supported me. You never paid.
Who paid for the majority of the dates? That's why we didn't go out on dates.
That is not true.
Okay.
Well, let me ask you this:
Wow.
when this was happening, when I met Natalie, everyone when couples meet, you're at different stages of relationship. Sometimes you're at different earning potential and things like that. We have a bit of an age gap in our relationship. When I met Natalie, I was in a different position of my life, and so there were things that I paid for. Mostly because I was just in that position. But at the time in which I did it, I was very happy to do it, right? It was more like, this is the relationship I want to be in. This is who I'm dating. I'm accepting my partner where they're at. Was that your mindset at the time? Or did you always kind of resent Tyler for his financial situation, whatever it was from your perception?
I'm a Southern woman at heart. I believe in gender roles.
Okay.
I mean, I feel like the man should be in their masculine and pay for things. So yes, I was a little resentful.
And is that something when he's going through his divorce and you guys are dating, what was your expectation?
It kills me how people pick and choose things. Like I'm in my Southern, I'm into gender roles, right? But like when Devin and Ben was into their Christian gender roles, they were evil. But when she used this for like girl power shit, there's nothing wrong with her doing that. But also like people pick and choose because also say, submit to your husband. I'm not saying that these are my views. I'm calling people to be consistent with the views that they have, because that is in there. But we can throw that part out, right? And then I'll flip and I'll take up for her, because I think it's very important to know that these are two different things. There's nothing wrong with her wanting that. If she wants that, he wasn't fulfilling that role because he lost his job and he's down. The thing I'm having a problem with is that, like, he had a great paying job. That I can't remember the black guy name on the show, but he was with her, actually. I forget his name. But he had said something that sounded good. And I see why women like what he said, but it didn't really fit the situation. He said, when you build a man, you basically, I'm paraphrasing, when you build a man, you lose something from yourself. To me, that's like coming into a bad situation, right, when he's down. If that applies, I take things case by case scenario. But you're not building a man. If you meet a man and he has lots of money and a great paying job and he gets fired, you are in a relationship that you are supposed to support each other. You are supposed to be there for each other. So, like, you're not building a man. It just is life. Things are going to happen in life. You're going to go through bumps and hurdles in life, because we know that he had a lot of money. He didn't have a job. Now he's back to making a lot of money. So, like, if it's a gender role thing and the man needs to always provide, just keep the same energy. Because if you live that kind of lifestyle, then you're saying that if a man has a role, then you're saying also that a woman has a role. And that means that she cannot ever falter from that, as we flawed human beings are. This is fucking insane. As we flawed human beings are that we go through in life, she can never, ever falter from that. She has to be that 100% top notch all the time. Or a man can come onto a show and just dog her out for her shortcomings and make her look like shit. So I didn't think that fit. But can she want a man? Is something wrong with her wanting a man that can provide this for her? Absolutely not. But that is completely different. If he didn't provide that for you because he got fired, he had a lot of money, he got fired, and so you resented him for that, you leave. But what it says about your personality to come out here and use this to belittle him. She's gonna bring up, you lied, you told people you got laid off, which is totally understandable. You don't want people all in your fucking business like that. I don't have a problem with that. But to me, it's worse for her. It's worse for you. He didn't just voluntarily walk away. To me, that'd have been worse. Like, bro, you got responsibilities. The fuck you doing walking away? So when you try to make him look bad by saying he got fired, to me, it makes you look worse, because he got fired. Unexpectedly lost a great paying job and supposed to have a woman that's supposed to be on his side and support him, and you emasculated him and put him down from this. How you come out on this is totally different, and not judging you for what you want. It's okay to want that, but if that relationship not working and you're not gonna get that, you move on. That's walking with grace. That's being mature. You just walk on. You still can respect somebody. He was a man that could not consistently provide what you want. You walk on. You walk away. I'm judging you on this, not by what you want in a man. I'm judging you on your character, about how you are displaying this emasculating hatred towards somebody.
Or understanding of Tyler's situation. I guess my question is like, when you started this relationship, what exactly were you saying yes to, right? Because like in relationships, when we're 18, 19, it's like, you're hot, I feel something, let's date. Yeah. You know, that's as far as it goes. As we get older, we have past relationships, we have experiences. So what did you accept Tyler at the time? Or was it immediately like, I love you because you're like hot and tall, but like,
get a job.
So he had a job when we first got together. He had the high-rise apartment in downtown Nashville, the nice car. So all these things is what drew me to him.
Gotcha.
And connected us close together. It was about a year into our relationship where he said, and honestly, I'm going to write the narrative. Sorry, Tyler, you didn't walk away, you got fired. So There you go. That was another little detail that I was trying to keep close to my heart on the show for his sake.
Another thing I call out too about her saying that he got fired, he just nodded his head. So let's go back to before, right? When there's two narratives. Yeah, you left a concert and you hooked up with your ex. He has shown, even if he feels it's going to make him look bad, hey man, if it's the truth, I admit it. She hasn't shown that. She has shown and already proved she's willing to lie. She's showing animosity for this guy and emasculating this guy. It makes it harder for me to believe her narrative. I think people get blindsided like, yo, I watched enough reunions, I'm gonna call this girl power shit, I'm gonna go the fuck off and a lot of people gonna like me. But it's still, you can have all of that and I can still watch it and just judge you off the character that I'm seeing displayed on my screen.
But him being on social media, doing these Q&As and saying that I was lying, we're not going to play that.
What Q&As are? I'm aware of some stuff, but I haven't totally.
He's been doing question boxes on his Instagram stories, answering questions that people have. So,
and you've had exceptions to a couple of his answers.
Oh yeah, they get sent to me unbeknownst to me. It's not like I'm seeking them out or anything like that. Social media is a big thing.
Yeah.
You're way too defensive. There's nothing wrong if you went to go look. There's nothing wrong. Like you was on the show with this guy you was dating at the time. He does an interview. There's nothing wrong with that. You just like you're gonna stand on anything, even if it don't fucking matter. It's okay. It's okay. You can go watch it. There's nothing wrong with you watching the show on purpose.
Yeah, I do have. So when we met, I was making a lot of money, high rise, nice car, all that, and literally, I had a lot of stuff that I had to go through. You know what I mean? And my whole leaving corporate America and everything was the biggest blessing in my life. You know what I mean? And when you're in a relationship with somebody, like I shared all that with her. You know what I mean? And she helped me through that. And there's a lot of stuff that I had to fix, you know what I mean? And now it just kind of feels, especially on the show, like I'm being gaslit for, trying to like follow my dreams and do something new, you know what I mean? And change my narrative and go in my direction. And because of what she wants, which is the gender roles and all that, it's just unacceptable for her. That's very clear. And that's allowed to be unacceptable, but when you did meet me, I was at a good place, yeah, sure, financially and all that, but I wasn't in a good place in a lot of other areas, and I had to make so many sacrifices to try and get my shit straight.
Like sacrifices, like what?
Like literally, like everything in my life changed. We're talking about job stuff, we're talking about dream stuff, we're talking about relationship stuff, better relationship with my family, you know what I mean? There's just, I was a mess, So that's how it just feels now, is like, now she's saying, okay, I was this a horrible guy, and I was this a deadbeat living off of you, you know what I mean? And I understand that you were attracted to me because I was the breadwinner and I was in a strong relationship and I played that masculine role, but shit changes. And I
stood by you for an entire year. I literally didn't ask you for shit until we were about to go on Temptation Island, and I was trying to ask you for an action plan, which is a normal thing to do as a grown adult. To ask your partner, hey, can we just make a plan?
I know, I didn't.
Plan about what?
Are we going to get a job in the next 6 months? What do you see for the future? What do you want to talk about? I mean.
So this is where I disagree a little bit. Our relationship was not how she's perceiving it to be. Like we're dating, we're sitting down having financial future conversations. It was a complete shit show. And it was.
I'm going to disagree with him on this. The only saving grace I can have for him is saying they're about to break up right before and they decide to stay together for the fucking show, which is crazy. But like, okay, y'all know the rapper Big Sean? Big Sean could rap so good in high school. He was the man. And he was so talented, people knew he was going to blow up. But it didn't happen. And then a year later, 2 years later, he has no job. He's struggling living with his parents. He is fucking broke. But not only is he broke, his friends and stuff are coming back from college. And he cries and he feels embarrassed. Like, yo, they starting their life and everything positive for them. And I'm supposed to be this big star. And I'm living with my parents and I'm broke. To chase the kind of shit like this, you have to put in the time. It's hard for my YouTube channels to blow up because I don't make the sacrifices away from my normal life to put in the work to be consistent on these things. But I'm totally fine. I come on here and get a little couple views, and I get to talk to a couple people about stuff I'm into. I'm totally okay with that because I'm not willing to make the sacrifices. But you can't do that without being broke. So now Big Sean friends are big up on top of him. They got degrees going on, a successful job, and he the broke guy. And then he goes to a radio station to rap for Kanye West, and now he has more money than everybody in his whole graduation class. Multi-millionaire, 10s, 20 million, $30 million. Set for life. House in Detroit where he grew up at, and another mansion in California, the mansion for his grandma. But in order for him to get that, you gotta be a bum. You gotta put your all into it. On this, there is nothing wrong with her not wanting that for her life and just wanted the traditional, regular guy go out there and make a good paying job and be the masculine man and pay for everything for me. Great. And there's nothing wrong with him leaving a successful job or getting fired from one and going and say, instead of me put my resume in, give me another good paying job, I want to pursue this acting thing, this modeling thing. I want to pursue these things. And in order to do that, I'm going to struggle. For that, they simply could break up. She's not wrong. He's not wrong. The issue is if it's not working out, why continue to emasculate him? That's what I just don't understand that. If he dogging her, she gonna say he dogging her in interviews. The one thing she's upset about him saying in the interview is that he got laid off because he don't want to tell the world he got fired. How does that put her down? Where is this negativity coming from that I want to destroy this guy online is what I'm having a problem seeing. And I will take up for her on this. I personally feel, and the advantage I have over him is that I have children. Maybe I think different if I didn't have children. No, I didn't at that time. Because when I was signed, it was hard. I was scared to leave my job to go full media hip hop and stuff. But because I have children, I will try this enough, but not enough that I'm not trying everything I can on 9 to 5 to provide for my family. That always comes first. This has to come secondary. So if I were him, and I don't see anything graceful about her, but in some world where she did provide this grace for him, at some point, you gotta have a plan. Like, you can't just do this forever and expect her to just hold you down forever. It's supposed to be a temporary thing. So at some point, it does have to come in. Whether it's 6 months, a year and a half, at some point, you gotta have like, okay, I went to this agency, I did blah, 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 blah. All right, now let me go ahead and just start putting resumes out there just to have some money and some stuff come back in. It is subjective how long the time period be, but one thing I will take up for her on is if it's subjective on how long the time period would be, that's when you ask for some sort of an action plan. So I don't see nothing wrong with what she did there.
I can agree that it was a shit show, but that doesn't mean that I didn't support your dreams or these lofty ideas that you had to walk away from corporate America. I said, okay, I'll stand by you, and we're going to do this until I'm sick of it, and I got fucking sick of it.
And I do, and then you turned, and that's fine. That's what I didn't say you didn't support me. I didn't say any of that, but that's what I'm saying on the show. Literally, you flipped and said, I'm a deadbeat living at your house, which is not. I
never clarified and said that you lived with me. I said I pay the mortgage, I buy the groceries. I never said Tyler lived in my house.
It was your house?
Yes, okay. Yeah, it was my house.
Yeah.
And what are your dreams that you
But you live alone. I don't understand. Like, you live alone, my nigga.
keep referring to? What is it you want to do?
Well, entertainment, honestly, just music, and I've had a lot of fun just modeling, doing stuff like, the Netflix thing, and just much different than what's that?
What?
Oh, sorry. What was that?
I just was saying, you were saying entertainment. I'm like talking about the show that you guys went on together.
Yeah, that's always been.
She helped you attain a dream.
Yeah.
Well, that's also been her dream too. So.
I mean,
look at your Instagram page.
if we can, if you want to take it there, you're the number one clout chaser on this entire thing.
A couple things just happened here all at once. Number one, she made a snide face remark like she thinks it's fucking ridiculous. Everybody think you fucking ridiculous until you hit it. That fucking Kai Cenat on YouTube, when he got 3 people watching him, he's a bum. He's a bum living with his mom. When he becomes the #1 most watched streamer and he got $10-20 million now and he making it on the Tonight Show last month, when he got Kevin Hart coming, everybody cool, but nobody want to be there when you're trying to do it. And like I just said, it's okay if you don't want a guy like that, but how am I supposed to believe you supporting him when y'all not together? He's not your man. He has this dream that's different than what you want. What is funny? It's all funny until you make it. Because right now on his Instagram, he backside to a big modeling agency. My man doing good right now. What? How can I believe your narrative when you keep showing me the contrary? That's all I see is the contrary. Like, and then something's about to come up because his homeboy about to jump in it, and she gonna tell him this is between me and you, and they got nothing to do with you. But her homegirl just jumped in it. I just noticed that it's okay when the homegirl jump in it, but watch when his friend, when the other guy jump in, and watch what happens. It's like this fucking shit. This is crazy.
Literally used me to meet all these people. And
I forgot one more point too. He owns everything. Well, you're the biggest clout agent. Yeah, this is what I want to do. I just said this is what I would want to do. So I would want to get the followers. These people come on here and lie. But what she's trying to do is say that means that his feelings weren't genuine when they never even talked about that. So she's using that at the wrong time. He's stating what he wants. So, but also, look how she tried to change subject. He said, well, that's what you wanted too. We both had this dream. We both wanted all these followers. And then she goes and attacks him again. I'm looking at someone's character.
Nashville because you got out of a marriage. You jumped to Kay on the show. Didn't genuinely have a connection with her. Just found out she had the most followers. If you want to look to Lino, I can play a voice recording from Lino saying that you were doing that.
Tayler,
So.
I'm sorry. I have to interject here.
Grant, this isn't about you right now.
Her homegirl, Grant's ex-girlfriend, just literally jumped into it. And as soon as he opens his mouth, this is what I'm saying. When you come at her, she's going to come at you really, really hard. So that's why I believe she had sex with her ex-boyfriend, because she was laid back. Look at her.
Now, actually,
he hasn't attacked you a single time.
I'm not attacking him. This is all the truth.
Bash on him.
This is the truth. I'm speaking my truth. Nothing is wrong with that.
Truth has to attack him as a person?
It's not attacking.
That's
this
wrong.
is a situation involving our relationship, and I'm just talking about that.
I want to move on for a bit and pause on this for a second. But for the 4 individuals who are single, or at least not with each other, clearly there's some hard feelings. Clearly there seems to be some resentment. I am, specifically for Tayler and Tayler, and we'll move on to you two. Where do you feel like that anger still comes from? Because it has been, how long since you guys have been broken up?
9 months since the show, I guess.
Yeah, so where's most of the frustration come from at this point?
I can answer that. My frustration is from the out of context, misleading information from the show. Like, I've completely moved on from this. The only thing that's kind of getting me angry right now is just this stance that she's trying to take, and I feel like she still needs to put me down in order to put herself up, and I don't get that tactic.
I see this so many times on reunions. If you're really independent, strong, and all of this right here, you should be able to easily do this. You should be able, without put off the back of somebody else, without putting them down, to just build yourself up, and it will come across a lot better and a lot more authentic and a lot more genuine. You don't need to do this.
You went through a lot in the 2.5 years, and there's a lot of stuff that I would never bring up, and I held back on the show. I'm not going to talk about it now, but I don't need to put you down in order to feel better about my decisions. I'm in a much better place now and happy and moved on. So my resentment, or I just feel like it's just a little bit heated right now because of I just feel like some misleading information.
What about you, Tayler?
I really don't have much. I'm just stating the truth, and I just hate hearing around, social media and his Q&As that I've been lying and things of that nature.
But you do seem a bit
this is just my stance. When I get confrontational, this is how I get.
When I get confrontational, this is how I get. You ain't gonna like what I'm about to say. It's all, I don't know how many times men got to scream from the rooftop. If you can deal with the results and the amount of percentage you may lessen yourself from finding the type of guy, men ain't trying to deal with this shit. I hear all the time women talk about communication. But no, this is how I am when I get this way. This is how I am when I get this way. That's all I hear. And it's not having any accountability. Not having any accountability. How is this communication? How is this communication? How is this right? Why? And when you clap this up for other women that do shit like this, all right. If it's okay that you dealing like this dream relationship, I see so many people wish that they have, and like I love the communication this couple have. They sit down, they talk to each other, but you're not willing to do that shit on your end. But you want somebody to sit there that you can talk over, emasculate, put down. It's just mind-boggling to me. And the crazy part is, I know I'm gonna be the minority. I know that. She's going to get a ton of praise for this interview. Yeah, girl. Stand in your truth. Stand in your truth. Okay. All right. Good luck out there, my nigga. Good luck on the dating process. Last time I checked, she's single. And he got a good woman.
I mean, I don't really have anything to say about that.
Ashley and Grant, two of you were together for 2.5 years. Is that right?
Year and a half.
Yeah, so I'll stop it right here. But I think I talked over the end part when Grant was saying, like, the entire time he has not tried to put you down once, and you've been taking shots at him this entire time. And her reason is, this is how I talk. Okay. I'm talking to y'all like I talk to people. I don't jump in nobody's business. But when I have friends that are women and they come to me and they tell me their relationship stuff, I'll sit there, be quiet. They're like, John, you supposed to be helping me, John. I don't want to help you. Why? Because you ain't going to like what I got to say. You ain't going to like what I got to say. How is that communication? What man wants to wife that kind of an attitude? Claim he saw the first 2 bonfires and she talking to those guys like that and just emasculating and putting him down. So he's claimed this is how she be doing the whole time. The evidence and the proof came from Nick Vial's reunion right here. I can only imagine what that man fucking went through. That's it for my video. I'll be back in a little bit later to cover this season in more detail, because we definitely got to get into Breon. And I'm positive that man is mixed. He half human, half demon. Mixed. Like that may be one of the most diabolical. He gotta be in the top 10. One of the most diabolical men I've seen on reality television. You know, maybe some recency biasness, but he up there, and we gotta talk about Breon. So I'll catch y'all next time.